I am absolutely perplexed. No, I'm not perplexed. That's too strong because I understand the need of a quarterback in the NFL. There's not a lot of good ones out there. He's at least decent. He's top 12, top 13 quarterbacks in the league, and you have to have a QB. I get that. And so as a result, you have to overpay. That helped Stafford, who's overrated. That certainly helped Garoppolo, who may be great. We'll have to wait and see. And that is now, timing has been perfect here for Cousins, and he's going to get paid what he wants to get paid. But, Minnesota, I don't quite understand what Minnesota is thinking about with this move. They are not a quarterback away of winning a championship. They're basically a bad half away of winning a championship. That I am not too sure if the quarterback is. Now, I understand Keenum making nervous. I get that. This is a guy that, has been a journeyman his whole career, and then all of a sudden he found his way this year and he played great. Chip on his shoulder. I get it. Fortunate against the Saints. I get that too, but still, he played really well for him. They won 13, whatever it was, 12, 13 games. They played badly against the Eagles. It wasn't just him. The whole team was inept. The defense stunk. The whole team was horrendous. I don't know if I want to put all the blame on the quarterback, including the coaching staff. I don't know if I want to put the whole blame on the quarterback, but they were not good. To me, they are not a upgrade away at that position from winning. I don't quite get it. It's not like you tell me now that Kirk Cousins is in Minnesota and they're the team to beat in the NFC. No, they're not. I mean, geez. You would have an opinion about Minnesota one way or the other as far as what their chances would be in 2018. And I'll grant you feel a little better about them going into the next year with Cousins compared to Keenan, because I got to be fair. I'm not going to sit there and say that I'd rather have Keenan, but for the $91 million guaranteed money that they are offering Cousins, and I'm assuming, I know the Jets can offer more, but I would think you go to Minnesota. I tell you, it would be a very bad sign if you are a Cousins believer if he took the Jet money. It'd be a bad sign. Because, the idea is to have a chance to win championships, to have a good window. And if you go play for the Jets when Minnesota wants you, a team that last year played in the NFC title game, that tells you that you're looking for a soft landing spot. That's what that tells me. They're looking for a soft landing spot. You go play against Aaron Rodgers twice a year. You want that kind of money? Go prove yourself against that kind of player. Listen, I don't understand what Minnesota is up to here. I don't think the upgrade is great enough at the position for the price you are going to pay for that upgrade. The Redskins certainly didn't feel that way. Gruden got him the hell out of there. Snyder got him the hell out of there. The GM got him the hell out of there, and they brought Alex Smith in, and they had to make a trade to get Alex Smith. And they had to give up a defensive back who everybody thinks is going to be real good, but they made a deal. They obviously bring in a guy like Alex Smith, and away we go. Now, I know D'Angelo Hall said that the Redskin players never always felt or never really felt that Cousins was, all the way in with the organization, that he didn't completely buy in. That is partly true, but that's also the organization's fault because they never really wanted to make a commitment to Cousins either. They franchise tagged him the whole 9 yards. And I think that's the kind of player Cousins is. I think Cousins is the kind of player that you are going to question whether he is worth the kind of money, guaranteed money that you're going to have to pay to get him. And I understand the cap went up $10 million, and I get all that. And I get, the cap is huge, and, you still can have a pretty good team even with an expensive quarterback. I get all that. But the good teams out there are the teams that are able to have that quarterback position not cost them an arm and a leg. It makes it better for everybody else around the ball club because you can, you have more money to spend on the other part of the roster, 44-man roster. Look at the Eagles. Wentz is not making a ton of money. And obviously, I think a total of $12 million at the position, and the Eagles won a Super Bowl. Brady is not a pig about it. He does a good job with the contract with Kraft. He's made plenty of money as it is, and that helps the Patriots. It helps. Russell Wilson was great for Seattle. That's why they went to some Super Bowls. Kaepernick for San Francisco. That's why they went to a Super Bowl. And then obviously Flacco cashed in on his championship, and the Ravens paid him an incredible amount of money. money that he's not worth, and then they were not able to supplement that team with other players for Flacco. They couldn't afford it, salary cap, and obviously the Ravens have struggled ever since. So you don't want to pay the quarterback all the money because then the money can't be dispersed properly with other areas of weakness that you have in your ball club. Now, the Vikings know their cap scenario better than I do, so I'm assuming that they will not have to unload 7 players to make sure they can fit Cousins in under the cap, but I just don't understand. Now, again, I get the Keenum thing. I understand that. That's a tricky call. I understand that. You'd give him a short-term contract, and you'd pay him whatever you pay him. You pay him $15 million a year. You give him a 3-year, $35 million contract if he'd sign it. That is where you'd go with Keenan. You make a commitment to him, but you wouldn't make a crippling commitment to him if he was not effective. Then you can get out of it. And now, whether Keenan would want to sign that, I would think he would. Where's Keenan going? Nobody seems to be running or barging down his door. Was he going to go to Buffalo? Where's he going? Cincinnati? Where's he going? I don't know where Keenan. I know he's not going to Cleveland, not going to the Giants. I don't know where, in fact, he's going to be a backup somewhere, and hopefully somebody gets hurt if he's Keenan and goes out there and he plays. But the point is, where is he going? So you don't have to pay him a ton of money. So I don't quite get what Minnesota's up to here. And the Jets, to me, I wouldn't do it either. All right, he's better than McCown. I'll be the first to admit it. He's better than him, Josh McCown. Not a lot better, but he's better. You'd have to put him as a better quarterback than me. McCown is, somewhere between 15 and, no, really, he's probably somewhere between 20 and 25, and Cousins is somewhere between 10 and 15. So between 20 and 25 is McCown, and 10 and 15. So somewhere in an 8 to a 10 quarterback way, there's about 10 quarterbacks in between the two of them, make a long story short. And there's no way you could put Cousins any higher than 10 or 11. You just can't do it. Based on track record, based on body of work, you can't do it. He's not as good as Stafford, and he hasn't won a playoff game either. He's obviously not as good as Rodgers. He's not as good as Matt Ryan. That's 3. He's not as good as Russell Wilson. That's 4. He's not as good as Garoppolo. I know that sounds crazy. That's my opinion. But that's 5. You can't, for 1 year, you can't put him better than Eli right now. I understand that Eli's 37 years of age, but that's 6. I don't know what number that you'd put him at. You're not better than Wentz. That's 7. You're not better than Brady. That's 8. You're not better than you're not better than Rodgers. That's 9. Rivers. That's 9. Roethlisberger. That's 10. And then after you get those 10 out of the way, you're not better than Andrew Luck. I know he's been hurt, but that's 11. After you get even Deshaun Watson, after Cam Newton, not better than him. That's 12. Breeze, 13. And then you can start deciding where you want to sit there and you want to put Cousins. There are 12 or 13 quarterbacks better than Cousins. Think about that for a minute. Yeah, he's going to get paid the highest money in the league. There are 12 to 30. Breeze is better. Rodgers is better. Brady is better. Roethlisberger is better. Wentz is better. That's 5, top of my head. Garoppolo, I think. Russell Wilson's better. Stafford's better. That's 8. I think right now, if I asked you tomorrow to have a season with Cousins or Stafford, because of his arm strength, you'd have to. And I don't love Stafford either. He's overrated. You'd have to take Stafford. Close, but you got to take Stafford. Have to. He's a better thrower of the football, so you'd have to. You'd have to take him. So that's what you're dealing with Cousins. The Jets are going to sign him for that kind of money now? That's what they want to do? I don't understand it. No, I don't get it. Now, listen. McCown, there's not a lot of quarterbacks worse than him. He's better than a Denver quarterback, all right? He's better than Tyrod Taylor. That's 2. You got to say right now he's better than Trubisky. That's 3. There's not many quarterbacks that he is. I understand. He's better than the Arizona quarterback situation. That's 4. He's probably. I don't know what to put. I don't know what to do with Tannewell. But yeah, there's probably he's way down there at the bottom of the tier. I understand that. So the Jets, it's an upgrade, but to me, it wouldn't be worth it. Very tricky with Cousins. See, Cousins is getting paid, but he gets paid because of the position, not because of him. He plays the most important position competently. And if you get paid at that position competently, you get overpaid. And that's what's going on. It's like a starting pitcher. A starting pitcher who's pretty good, Darvish, gets paid a ridiculous amount of money because it's so hard to find starting pitchers. So as a result, they get paid a fortune to go out there and do their thing, and who may not be that great. Darvish is not great. Cobb's not great. Lance Lynn is not great. Arrieta's not great, and they get paid that kind of money because it's hard to find them. So they get overpaid. And that's kind of where Cousins sits right now. So Cousins and the baseball will start our day in a busy afternoon. Pittsburgh is going to lose again. Georgia Tech has been knocked out of the ACC tournament. One thing about these conference tournaments, if you're going to have them, at least run them right. And I give the ACC credit. They give them 24 hours off. How about the idea that in the Big East, that amputated league, Georgetown and St. John's played tonight at 7 o'clock for television. New York, old rivalry. Maybe they can find a little juice, Mullen and Ewing. So let's put them on prime time, and maybe people will pay attention to it. That's why they did that. The winner tomorrow plays at noon against Xavier. That's not the way to do things. That's a joke. That's a joke. Half past, Dan Lang, a Sports Bite. Mad Dog